News with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, we do have some big breaking news. More Crank Yankers is on the way, according to Deadline.com. I hope you were aware of this.
I was. I had it. I had a list of stuff I wanted to get to, but I bumped that with cat talk.
That's okay. We'll get to
I'm
it.
steeped in the cat world, where
Understood.
Crank Yankers are more for a peripheral sort
Right.
of player.
It's not really your
Mid-range cat took your mind right off Crank Yankers.
Yeah, I don't pay the bills with Crank Yankers.
No.
It's cat talk, cat-size talk specifically.
right.
That's how I keep the lights on at the Carolla house.
Comedy Central has ordered a new 20-episode season of the hit revival series from original creators Jimmy Kimmel, Adam Carolla, and Danny Two Sheets.
Danny Two Sheets.
Crank Yankers returns on September, or it did return last September 25th, was Comedy Central's best series launch in 3 years per Nielsen. The current season resumes March 17th. It's going to follow the premiere of Tosh.0.
It's nice. It was something we did in, like, I don't know, 02, 03, and, it was just an idea. And Jimmy always made prank phone calls, and we never, and always wanted to do a show with those phone calls. We just never knew how to actually reconstruct them. And at some point, the puppets came in.
What was the name? What was the original name?
It was called Prank Puppets. And that was our working title. Jeff knows that when you're creating a TV show, you have to call it something so you know what you're talking about, to delineate it from working on the Man Show or whatever it is. And we just always just called it Prank Puppets. And then at some point, I don't know, it's like naming a cat or a dog or something. It starts to fit, and you start to like it.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't like Prank Puppets to begin with. We weren't enamored with it. We just sort of gave it that working title. But after a number of months of working on the show we called Prank Puppets, we liked it, and it fit the show, and then the Comedy Central lawyer said we couldn't use Prank Puppets.
Well, it's also a good chew toy to throw into the network exec's room while you're trying to get the show done.
Right.
You go, you know what? We're not really sure what the title. Go, and they just and while you're actually making funny shows.
Did they not want the word prank in the title?
I don't know. It was one of the more epic arguments I've probably ever had with a group of people on the phone. All I remember is Jimmy and I were in his room in New York. We must have been doing, if you think about it, Max Zapata, you think about the timing of it. I'm trying to think of what me and Jimmy were doing in New York. Me and Jimmy were probably in New York doing the Hugh Hefner roast about the same time we were trying to work out the Crank Yankers with Comedy Central. So I would assume that the Hugh Hefner roast, which was after 9/11, a couple of weeks, I'm guessing Crank Yankers probably came out the next year or something in that. I don't know what we were doing in New York, but I was in his hotel room, and we had the Comedy Central people and like their attorneys on the speakerphone, like next to Jimmy's bed. And I was just yelling at them the entire time. That's all I remember.
That's actually a great combination of gigs, because a lot of your acerbic roast material can be used on the network execs.
Yeah, Crank Yankers was
press the material.
Sorry, Hugh Hefner roast was at the end, had to be toward the end of 2001. Toward the, I don't know, it was probably in...
A couple months after 9/11.
Yeah, so after 9/11. So it was toward the end of one, and then Crank Yankers came out in June, so says Chris, of 2002. So we're probably discussing, we got to put up billboards and get merch printed up and show titles and everything. So we're probably getting into it about then. And they just said Prank Puppets was too dangerous, too risky from a litigation standpoint, because it implied malice and we'd get sued by somebody we called. And I couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't figure out why Prank and Puppet was a title that crossed the line according to their attorneys. And I was going nuts on them. But it one of my many screaming into a phone conversations. I've had many showbiz related conversations where I was more confused than I was angered. Like, I eventually turned to anger, but I still, to this day, You say to 1,000 people, when I tell people this story, they go, but what's wrong with prank puppets? And I go, I don't, nobody knows. No one could ever explain it. They couldn't explain it, but they still did. The part that made me go from, I went to full. I went from Sam Kinison to full Vavoom. Vavoom was a character from a cartoon I used to watch when I was a kid. If you look up Vavoom, and it was this guy who's like his power was yelling.
Oh my God!
He would just come in and go Vavoom, and all of a sudden there'd be an avalanche. Vavoom. I went to full Vavoom into the speakerphone.
I've never heard of Vavoom.
He was
hilarious.
By the way, Jimmy's like, you got to calm down. And Jimmy's usually, I'm the good cop.
Oh, wow.
He'd be bad cop. Oh, yeah.
Come on.
It's
not
nice.
America's Jimmy Kimmel.
That's a nice role.
Oh, no. This is the other Jimmy Kimmel. And they'd have like...
this chubby guy named Jimmy Kimmel.
Italian Jimmy Kimmel.
Sports Jimmy? Jimmy the sports guy?
They'd... all the execs were middle-aged females. And it'd be like
Lauren Correo.
It'd be like Debbie Liebling on the phone, and Debbie
Liebling. Yeah.
Debbie Liebling is on the phone, and she'd be like, "Done with Jimmy, done with Daniel, tired of those two assholes." And then Daniel would go like, "You Adam, talk to her, pick up the phone." And then I'd pick up the phone. "Hey, Debbie, how you doing? How are the kids? They're good. How's your husband? Hey, he's doing some. Alan's doing some great directing for us over here. All right, so." Anyway, there's that joke where the two women are walking on the beach and they're talking about douche, and she says the garbage barge, and I know, but let me see if we can really break that one down. I just finesse her because she kind of
impressive.
You were the nice one.
I was the nice one.
That's impressive.
I was considered. I don't know. Maybe I always did appeal when I was in high school. The chicks I liked never liked me, but their moms did.
Oh, so
I had great mom appeal.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a little of that mom appeal when I was 34 that was cutting through some of it, Kimmel and Kelsen, they don't have mom appeal.
No.
I
maybe now.
I liked Beth Ringwald when I was 17. Beth Ringwald didn't like me, but Adele Ringwald, her mom, did. Like I could be like, what's wrong with him?
Well,
no way.
They could smell working man off you.
Yeah.
He's a guy who's worked for a living.
Maybe that was it.
I can deal with him.
And if they baked, and like Adele would bake a pie, I'd eat the whole pie. She'd just serve me up the pie. More milk, thank you.
Yes,
and
please.
she'd be like, my husband doesn't even like, he's crazy. He's a crazy man. Who wouldn't enjoy your pie? Maybe it's just me consuming baked goods that won her over.
Nothing wrong with that. Whatever works.
I'd have to be the good cop, and then I went nuts. I went full Vavoom because at some point, can we hear Vavoom? It was with Felix the cat.
That's right.
Vavoom! No! Run this way! Vavoom!
He creates an avalanche, a rock slide.
You just keep yelling Vavoom.
Wow.
Built a dam by yelling Vavoom.
That cartoon sucks.
The entertainment, we used to have to...
There's a reason why Gina and I haven't heard about this.
Yeah,
it didn't stand the test of time.
Lost to history.
I've never brought it up in my life. I just thought about watching Felix the Cat, which I didn't like, but I remember there's a character called Vavoom, and he just yelled Vavoom.
Very hard phrase to put any manliness into.
Yeah.
Vavoom.
Yeah, that's like zhuzh.
Yes. It's a strip club name.
I went,
Vavoom.
So when I went
Vicky
full
Vavoom
on the speakerphone is when at some point the lawyers Vavoom.
The Vavoom room.
Yeah. They always pull this move where it drives me nuts. It's also insulting where they do the lawyer. He goes, when I heard prank puppets, I was nervous. I got to tell you, but I walked it up the hall to talk to Herb Eastman. He about fell out of his chair. And I was like, you fucking lie. You're such a liar. You're such a liar. Herbie Eastman, if he does exist, did not fucking fall out of his chair when you told him prank puppets. No fucking way. Like, that's fucking insulting. You never did that. I don't know if that guy exists. And if he fucking fell out of his chair because you said prank puppet, he's a fucking pussy. And I just went, I went full Vavoom. I went Vavoom.
Yeah.
And I told them I was going Vavoom, and they had no idea what that reference was. All right,
They just
Gina.
thought, oh, he's getting
Crank
something
Yankers
smooth
is
It's back.
It's back.
That's great.
Yeah, it is.
Sponsored by Pinocchio's, Nevada's only all puppet brothel.
Oh wow!
Pinocchio's. And you're doing voices, yes? This season?
Yeah, we have a little video that we'll throw up at
Let's
AdamCarolla.com.
watch it.
I realize they video them now, and you can watch the call being made as well as the actual acting out with like a split.
that's cool.
They did a
That's
split
good.
screen, so I'll just show you 30 seconds of it. It's me just sitting and doing my character acting it out. What's the best for weight control?
For weight control, that is a good question.
I told her, like, peanut butter's good if you want to give your cat an antibiotic or to rub on your areolas, but it's not good in ingest.
Right. I mean, not in super large quantities, no, because it is a super high fat content.
You guys do golden beets?
We don't have golden beets. I know we have, some beetroot powder.
Yeah, I made a beet powder smoothie, and about 10 hours later, I was on the pot doing my business. Looked down, looked like Rosemary's Baby in that toilet. Now, that's happened to the best of us, right?
Yeah.
Right. So here's my little invention, and this could make you a real hit at the Whole Foods. It's a beat, but it's a split screen where it's kind of entertaining to watch the actual call being made.
Every episode's going to be like that, or this is a promo?
No, I think it's like a promo.
They
or
post
you
a
can
few on
find it.
YouTube,
Oh, I
yeah.
love
So
that.
they definitely put Adam's up, but it's really fun to watch because you can just see Adam cracking up and having to be quiet about it.
That's
Yeah.
smart. That's a really smart idea to do a little bit of an insert screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. The downside of it is now I got to put gel in my hair before I go call
That's
people.
true.
Yeah, get all
I got to
gussy.
gel up. I was
Yeah.
just wearing sweat jacket and I had the Brillo hair. Now I got to put the gel on.
Can't walk in
Gotta
in
look
the
good.
Jimmy
right.
J.J. Walker Dynamite T-shirt.
Well, and that's what was fun about last year about Clusterfest when we went up to San Francisco for that comedy festival. And they had that giant Crank Yankers big promotional thing right in the center of the whole festival. And it was all phone booths and different types of phones. You just pick them up and listen in on all the calls. It was a great idea.
that's great.
It was fun.
I'm glad. Look, I'll take it. It was gone for 15 years or 8. I mean, not 15. I don't know, 13. It was gone, and it's not like we ever campaigned to bring it back or anything. It's very
People have spoken.
Stuff we did was gone, and people just wanted it back. I guess.
Plus,
Comedy Central
I think
did
they have
survey.
a little. Yeah, they have a little new blood at Comedy Central in the executive end that I think said, you know what? If we look at the analytics, maybe we should put two shows like, Daniel Tosh and Crank Yankers did really well for us.
Bundle them.
Yeah, bundle them, put them back on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like football coaching, you know what I mean? It's like for so many years it was based on hunch or like, this seems to work. This is conventional wisdom. This is what everyone does. And I
take
was
a
like,
shot.
hey, let's look at the numbers. Let's look and see what really makes sense on first down.
I think they put something out, and they just went, "Hey, not Crank Yankers. Hey, Comedy Central fans, what show do you guys wish was back on?" And they just went, "We wish Crank Yankers was back on."
That's
So there they
fantastic.
go.
That's great. Well, Jason Statham has quit the action comedy The Man from Toronto. That was co-starring Kevin Hart, and this happened just weeks before production is to begin. This is according to Deadline. Statham wanted the flick to have an R rating, but the studio wants a PG-13 since it's a holiday release. Sony Pictures hopes to replace him while holding on to Hart. Deadline also says Statham quit his talent agency, WME, over this, following this abrupt departure. In the movie, Statham was supposed to play the world's deadliest assassin, who's somehow mistaken for Hart's character, described as New York's biggest screw-up.
Yeah.
Do you guys see Spy with Melissa McCarthy?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a movie that shouldn't have been good. That was very funny.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
fun.
With
agree.
Jason Statham. That's the reason I thought of it.
Totally funny.
But to all of this over the rating, like, is it a
I've,
street cred
Probably
thing?
some other stuff going
Yeah.
on.
It
That's
sounds
what
like
they're
some
telling
bargaining
us.
going on
Yeah.
there, yeah.
My
That's a two
inside
of clubs covering an ace.
sources.
That's what that is.
My inside sources tell me he's a pain in the ass to deal with.
Statham?
Yes,
He's always a bad boy.
They're guys that are notoriously easy,
Yeah.
and it's not all about the stature. I mean, you hear about. We all know the easy ones, and like a guy like The Rock, that guy's just totally easy, totally pro. Statham, more of a handful.
Okay.
Plus, I'm smelling. You got to understand, if you're in a movie like that, that is a Kevin Hart movie.
Right.
That's why it's
right.
going to be PG-13. That's why Kevin's getting more of this. Kevin's getting more of that. Kevin's going to get more attention. Kevin's going to be. If you're not willing to stand next to Kevin Hart on a red carpet and be the straight man,
right?
Be Bud Abbott. You're screwed.
He probably there's some dispute over a placement of the names or on the poster. You know what I mean? There's probably some.
Not that he's not probably working right now and has no time, but I wonder if they would kick in The Rock instead if they need that.
Well, then it becomes a different. Right?
Yeah,
different
well,
situation.
then it's a different situation. But they've also worked together a couple of times now and done really well.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. We'll
so
see.
they might plug that in. Or they could plug in Jeff Cesario.
That's right. Sure, of course.
I heard they might plug him in.
Yeah, the world's
Have you
most
seen
wanted
his abs
assassin
lately?
or whatever, yeah.
Who loves you, baby?
Cut glass.
Telly Savalas and Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I mean,
Together again for the first time.
Telly must have died in
90-something.
It was early 90s, I think.
Didn't we have his daughter
94.
on as a guest a few years ago?
Yeah.
What year did he die?
He died in 94, and yes, we have had his daughter
Yeah.
as a guest, Ariana.
Lori Loughlin's
Oh,
chances.
she's a singer, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Her chances of skating in the college admission scandal have gotten much better, and I'm sure Garrigus knows all of this and probably predicted it. According to People magazine, quote, explosive evidence has come to light that could help exonerate her and her husband. Attorney Sean Berkowitz.
There's never going to be any victory because she's out $500K
Right.
for the USC. She's out another $1.2 million in legal fees, and her kid's going to Valley College now. So where's the win?
And is she going to be re-embraced by like Lifetime or whatever those,
Full House.
Hallmark, whatever?
Yeah.
I'm saying she was like a staple of those Hallmark
Right.
movies.
And speaking of reembraced, how about reimbursed? Like this SC get to hammer that check?
Yeah.
And the daughters dropped out.
Yeah, they don't go there anymore.
And they dropped out.
When you said skating, I thought they were shifting their major to skating.
From crew team to skating?
Yeah, from crew team
By
to
the
skating. There was
way-
a couple of actual openings on the skating team.
We didn't really need any photoshopping or any sleuthing. All you had to do is show me a couple of headshots of that one. I'm like, you get up at 4 a.m. and row on a simulator for 7 hours? Let me take a look at you.
And your
I
name's
don't think
Olivia
so.
Jade.
Yeah.
She's a
no.
coxswain influencer.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
Yeah, I don't think that's
may go that route eventually.
Because the crew team every morning, 4 a.m. in the pool, that
hard work.
doesn't have that look. Doesn't have that look.
The vibe.
No.
So this is the explosive evidence that everyone's talking about. That at least Sean Berkowitz is talking about, the lawyer. He says there's newly released information claiming that scam mastermind Rick Singer was told by the FBI to lie by saying that he told his clients that their payments were bribes rather than legitimate donations to the schools. So basically getting him to admit something that he never said to these people.
I know the FBI is kind of denying it, but on the other hand, just in general, the last few years, the FBI seems now like
Shady.
I now realize they may be up to things and are capable of things. They probably always were. We just never really. I mean, J. Edgar Hoover and all that stuff.
They do go back and forth, even in pop culture. There's, the heroic Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. FBI.
Right.
And then in virtually every comedy, the FBI is the bad guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But either way, look, what I've learned from talking to Garrigus about anyone who's trying to make a case about anybody else, any DAs or any of that stuff, they don't care. They just operate with total impunity.
What do you mean?
You talk about Duke Lacrosse and like Mike Nifong and everything, the DA over there, and they were like, we got receipts from the ATM that says this kid was 30 miles away at the ATM the exact time you're accusing him of raping this dancer in the bathroom. And Mike Nifong's like, so what?
Neither here nor there.
Moving forward. These guys they operate in a world where it's, first off, they have an unlimited budget. Everyone else is counting their money all day. We have to weigh these decisions all the time. They're unlimited, and nothing ever happens to them, or usually, formerly never happened to them. And they're making their case. Once it comes before them, like, hey, there's this person. Did that person commit fraud? to USC, or did that person rape a dancer in the bathroom of a frat house? The answer is, I don't know. I'm making a case, and it's like we'll see. And like you keep your marching orders, you're making a case. Right. You're letting the person off, which is scary when they have an unlimited budget. And now you start dealing with the poor inner city black guy who does not have the firepower that she has. I mean, imagine what they can afford, her and Massimo, right? Now you get the court-appointed attorney who's not going to do all this stuff. Then where are you at?
Yeah.
Then they get to do whatever they want.
Plus, that DA motivation is I'm getting boned in the ass on salary because I'm not in the private sector, but look at the power I got. I'm going to start playing this game, and then I'll get to a place where I have even more power and can make real money.
Now, I don't want you guys to think for a second I'm defending black youth. I'm not.
It sounded like you were.
Focusing on rich actresses.
It was
It seemed like you were bending
I'm saying
a little.
some of the same principles apply. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know how that came across.
Right. William Shatner and his ex-wife, Elizabeth Martin, have divvied up their assets.
Oh, did I see this on TMZ?
Oh, this is a good headline.
Let me see if I can figure all the beats out. Poor you, Gina.
So to speak.
I just come in and steal your thunder.
That's okay. I can't wait for you to tell this story.
All right.
The big prize that William Shatner's walking away
It's
with.
his fourth wife. She gets the horses. He gets the semen to create the horses because he's a breeder.
Oh.
Okay? So he basically gets what's in the horse. She gets the horse. They also have rights to come to the ranch and pick fruit. They have she can
Kentucky
visit.
Ranch?
Is that a euphemism?
She can visit an avocado tree, like she has half custody of an avocado tree.
Another euphemism.
And the urn and ashes of her last husband.
Were they fighting over that?
Was that a dispute?
I don't know why the urn and the ashes are there. It was on TMZ or how it worked, but
he got the rights to the ashes semen.
That's right.
Well, he did. Good for him. The prenup did honor his Star Trek royalties, so he's going to stick with that. But you're right. He does get custody of the horse semen. She is. Let's see. Oh, they have 4 horses: Renaissance Man's Medici, Powder River Shirley, Belle Reeves So Photogenic, and Pebbles. And I still want to know how horses are named.
Pebbles?
Just
Belle
Pebbles.
Reeves So Photogenic. I
And-
never understand these names.
There's some sort of
He lost-
equine Mad Libs.
It's got to be. There's one guy who was, because when I used to work for the Conway Show back in the day, not like now again, there's always horse trainers on because he loves playing the ponies. And one guy ended up naming a horse after me named Gina with the News because I did news on that show. And they shot the horse.
Oh.
Horse went down.
Well, don't shoot the messenger, for God's sake.
That's right.
It's just news.
She got all the horses of the apocalypse, and he got nothing. Right? I mean, he got the semen.
Yeah. Which
And
I guess,
mean, like she got the popsicle and he got the stick, right? But all right, it's got some street value.
well, it's more like teach a man to fish or give a man a fish. He got the semen. He
But
got
here's
the
what I'm
future.
saying.
Can the horse
Shatner.
not produce more semen?
Don't worry about the horse.
Shatner,
It's a question for Jeff.
first off,
Yes.
Shatner didn't play this one right. You know what I mean?
Well, not at 95. I mean,
He's an old guy.
if you're waiting for the horse semen to pay off, 3 months is too long. If you're William Shatner.
His last wife they found in a swimming pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I would work that into the negotiation. You know,
just keep
not
dropping that.
when we're not in front of the attorneys
On
and the
his
mediation.
part or hers?
Just sitting at the coffee table. Just at the breakfast table when she was talking about bouncing the ideas of divorce. Kicking around ideas of divorce and who was going to get which horses and all that kind of stuff. I'd be like, my last wife was talking about that, and then I came home. And there she was, just
Sunset
taking a
Boulevard
nap in the pool. Yeah. So
Face down.
Coincidence?
yeah. So why don't you think about our horse trading deal over here just a little bit? Because,
I wouldn't say I stepped lively to make the phone call.
Yeah, just it's
Think
funny
about
because
it,
she was sort of toying with the idea like you are, and then next thing you know, she's in the pool. So hey, we got a pool out here. We got a pool out here.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same pool. Huh.
I don't much care for what you're implying.
I'm just saying. I know it's cool outside, but a dip never hurt.
A forced dip.
In fact, that's what we'll name the horse. Forced dip.
Forced dip.
Coercion dip.
Horse majeure.
That's right.
Wow. Don't sleep on that one.
Did you say horse majeure?
Horse majeure.
That was good.
Hey, if there's not a goddamn racehorse called horse majeure,
Look that up right now.
Someone's leaving money at the window.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of travelers across the UK and Europe have been left stranded after a struggling little UK-based airline called Flybe, Flybe, suddenly just went out of business. The UK Civil Aviation Authority issued a statement announcing that Flybe has folded, all flights are cancelled. Their message to travelers, please do not go to the airport as your Flybe flight will not be there. Flybe customers are urged to make their own alternate travel arrangements via airlines, whatever, rail, coach. Now, you think, well, what do you get back? I have a ticket. Where's my airline? Doesn't work that way. If you bought tickets directly from the company, you're not protected under travel insurance for some reason. However, if you bought through a travel agent, third party, you might be covered. Some people might be able to get their money back if they paid by credit card or debit card, but shop's closed.
I could
Go
top
home.
it. I was on Republic Airlines on a flight when it went bankrupt. And they just
Fell out of the
landed
sky?
in Vegas and
repossessed
said,
plane.
get off the plane, we're done.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Where were you going or coming back
I was coming
from?
back from a club date in, I think, Cleveland.
And
I
you
was
were
flying
supposed to
back.
land in LAX?
Yeah. And they just said, oh, we just got news. We're broke. We're landing in Vegas, and they're taking the plane, and we're done.
Wow, the
Can't
repo
finish your trip?
The repo
No.
man came. Telly Savalas came.
Wow. That's crazy.
But I got the semen in the settlement.
Oh, good.
Oh,
You
the
got a little
planes.
Jet A. It's wow. They must
no,
have
that's
been
true. Yeah.
based out of Vegas
I
or
have
something.
no idea.
'Cause-
I have no
Republic.
idea.
I've never heard of it.
And then you just
But that was back when, 22 was non-smoking and 23 was the smoking
Oh, sure.
section.
Right,
So,
right.
So it was a while ago. But yeah, I remember just thinking, man, this is hilarious. I cannot believe this.
and you got off, and a good thing you weren't that far from.
Yeah, no, I
home.
think I just wound up. I think I just jumped one of those airlines and came back to L.A.
That's
Wow,
a good story.
cool. Literally,
Yeah, in mid-flight, the guy come. You're
announced
expecting a
it.
drink announcement,
right.
and they just said, "Well, we just found out that we have gone bankrupt." And we will not be able to make it all the way to Los Angeles, folks.
Wow.
That's
Going to be
insane.
landing
Money
in Las
was
Vegas,
Wow.
and could get a little turbulent.
Yeah.
Because
The real
we're
rock
gonna let go of
polisher.
the steering wheels right now.
I think they called a yoke, but that could be me.
They're not called steering wheels on planes.
Nah, they call them
Yeah,
yokes.
all right.
But they have little half steering wheels on them.
Yeah, they
The
but
kinda
they're
have a little,
V-bars
but
or whatever.
I think they would call it the yoke. I
That
don't
dude
know.
is yoked.
I don't know. What do they call the yoke?
I mean, I know it's the yoke in the Jimmy Stewart Meet Me in St. Louis movie, or whatever that was. Spirit of St. Louis.
Spirit of
That's
St.
a yoke,
Louis,
where he's
yeah.
hauling
Lindbergh.
half a ladder in bare
Yeah,
hands.
I
towards the
still
district.
think it's called a yoke, but maybe
It's
they
still called a yoke.
still call it a yoke. All right.
Did you
That
learn
dude
that on
is yoked.
TMZ?
I evidently have range because I know Vavoom,
Yeah.
but I also know flight instruments, but also know what's going on TMZ.
Yeah. With Cardi B, everybody.
I can turn
Offset.
a phrase for a racehorse name.
That's
I got a lot of range. All right, what else we got, Gina Grant?
Tyra Banks is opening a modeling theme park right here in California over in Santa Monica.
Check, please.
It's called
Yeah.
It's called Model Land. It'll allow visitors to live their ultimate fashion fantasy, according to the press release. The America's Next Top Model host says it's not about being a professional model. It's not about that. It's about just coming and taking the most amazing photos and getting tips and tricks and going on a story-driven journey. So here's how the prices shake down. VIP package run you $1,500. For that, you get a first class modeling shoot, extra photos, extra wardrobe changes, veiled VIP seating.
No
personal-
hot chicks are going to this place.
No, this is for
There's going to be a bunch of wranglers for the Sultan of Brunei going, where is model? We've come to Model Land. We're going to, we've chartered a flight. Where is? There's no? Where there's no model?
We have this already. It's called Beverly Hills.
That's
we don't
right.
need this.
This is going to, I would imagine this is high school girl graduation presents, tourist attraction, that kind of thing. You go and you take a bunch of pictures. And so you get extra wardrobe, you get a personal consultation and a goodie bag. Otherwise, the cheap seats, That's $59 a pop for adults and $39 for kids. If you bring your child and toddler and tiara them up and have them stand next to all this stuff, that gets you a basic ticket. The kids are 3 to 12 years old. You get a digital lookbook of photos and access to an immersive theater and the Model Land shop.
Be funny because like you go into an amusement park, you see a whole bunch of people barfing, and you're like, "What do they do? Ride the zipper?" No, that's part of the. That's the ride. That's they have an eating disorder.
Experience.
This is immersive. You got to learn to bring it up.
Yeah,
but they didn't just get off the Widowmaker. No,
I gotta try that.
They're just doing it. The guy's putting his hand down his. She's putting her finger down her throat.
It's called diet tips.
Yeah.
Well, and those are very popular right now. Like I'm sure Christy knows about. There's pop-up shops everywhere. There's pop-up experiences where here's a cool wall that looks like you have angel wings. Go stand next to it. There's just a lot of that
They're made for
stuff
Instagram.
right now. Exactly.
The only good thing about Model Land is cigarettes are 50 cents a pack.
That's nice.
That's
yeah.
right.
You could smoke anywhere. you
That's
want.
right. Yeah.
You're going to find this almost impossible to believe, as I did. There does not appear to ever be a racehorse named Horse Majeure.
That's unfortunate.
Wow.
That's real
impressive.
That's the industry really coming up short.
Yeah.
Well, you got to.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Twitter, but I cannot find a horse named Horse Majeure.
Max Zapata, I must now buy the domain or something, the Horse
Quickly.
Majeure,
Absolutely.
and then some guy's going to have to buy that off of me.
Yeah, and those
I
horse
wanna
guys have
get-
money.
Oh, yeah.
You can get a
They're
pretty
not
penny.
forever. That's
They got
right.
money, and Shatner's got the semen.
That's right.
That's
Put those
good country
together.
song.
That's right.
His kid can sing it.
No.
Whose kid is the singer? Telly Savalas' kid.
Yeah, that's right. Katy Perry announced in a roundabout way that she's expecting a baby with fiancé Orlando Bloom. So Wednesday night, she released her new music video called Never Worn White. At the conclusion, Katy stands in profile because the whole video she's in dresses. You can't tell anything, and we have a picture. She reveals her baby bump at the end of the video, and she seems to be, they're saying, in her second trimester. She hinted about the due date, saying, let's just say it's going to be a jam-packed summer. Her song is about accepting her marriage proposal, and Katy and Orlando were engaged a year ago on Valentine's Day, and I think they had plans to go to Japan to get married, but coronavirus may have delayed that.
Well, we've come a long way since the lyric "4 Dead in Ohio."
Well, yeah, we're just talking about
right.
it.
Now
we
writing
were.
separate songs about the trimesters of their pregnancy.
That's right.
Interesting.
It's just too many celebrities.
There's a lot of
There's
celebrities.
too many.
And more coming straight out of Model Land.
And you know everything about them. Like when I was a kid, I knew nothing about Donna Dixon. Nothing. I knew she was on TV.
I didn't know
she was
anything about
hot.
Steve McQueen.
I didn't know anything about anybody.
Mysteriousness was part of the deal. Wow.
Yeah. There was something really alluring about really not having any idea what Paul Newman was like, or Steve McQueen or any of these people.
It's
Now,
a rare breed now.
everyone is just chronicling everything all the time. We were kind of talking about it. The one who transitioned over the last 3 years has been like De Niro. Like I didn't know anything about De Niro, and I kind of liked it that way. He was a mysteriously talented man. I didn't know his
decades.
politics. I didn't know what. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I don't see him pop up on The View and start foaming at the mouth. I don't like that. I want him. I want him commanding the silver screen.
He's doing Cameo now.
That's right.
Probably
There's De
is.
Niro. Hey,
Yeah.
you want your buddy call you back? Let me know.
It was weird. I even just doing the Comedy Central roast with him up there
Yeah.
kind of felt like, what are you doing up here with me? But I mean, come on now. I watch Raging Bull. Now I'm making jokes about you being old. Like, you shouldn't be up here.
It's like Prager. You don't want to live in a world where Prager knows who you are.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it. Like Dennis Prager. Yeah, I like that he didn't know who I was. I don't want to know so much about these people.
Yeah, well, you're in the minority apparently.
Yeah.
I guess, but is it good? Like I think it's the same.
it's not
I think it's the same gene where when we grew up, I always think about this as an example, but it always kind of comes back to this. Like it was a big deal when The Grinch That Stole Christmas came on ABC December 14th,
Right.
on
Seasonally
8:00 on a
appropriate.
Sunday night. Like it was a big
Yes.
deal. You circle it on the calendar. Like The Grinch is going to be on tonight, and you hear the song and the whole night. The kids don't care about that shit anymore because they can watch it whenever they want. It's there all the time.
Yeah.
It's not, everything's there all the time. So if everything is there, then nothing is there. That's just the way we
right.
do it. And our celebrities were like big. I would fantasize about the life that they were leading, and now you hear about all the stuff, all the dirty laundries out there, and they're getting divorced. I don't want to hear Mel Gibson screaming, "Blow me in a hot tub, you bitch." That would. You know what I mean? I would never picture Kirk Douglas doing that, or it was like this was John Wayne. You imagine once in a while he'd have a couple of pops and do and address some seniors at USC or something like that. There's some footage of that, and once in a while there'd be some bootleg tape of some band leader or something screaming at everyone on a bus, but. I want Mel Gibson to be. He's Road Warrior.
Right.
I don't want him to be all
Alec
drunk.
Baldwin in an easement rights dispute with his neighbor.
Yeah, it's like
what?
I don't want to hear him yelling at his daughter.
There's just silent footage of them screaming at each other across a broken fence.
Yes.
May I suggest you watch a different channel when you row?
Oh,
That's a good
it's
point.
TMZ.
Yeah. You expose yourself to that quite often.
Well, I don't want to correct you, Gina.
Yeah.
But if that is your real name, because you do so many delightful characters, I don't know who you are anymore. I rode to SportsCenter. Because I can't hear anything on the rowing machine. I just watch highlights, you know. TMZ, I turn the sound up. I don't sit. I take a knee.
Oh.
Helmet's not a chair.
Sure.
I grab a knee in front of that and I study that shit.
That's good. Get your notepad.
And I can tell you that Shatner's fourth wife, semen, horses she got, and I don't know how the visitation with the urn and the fruit trees go. But there is a part that is stipulated in the divorce. Now, I'm not sure why the urn, there's a visitation thing with the urn, but you can look up that.
George Takei has to be present, and then he can visit.
George Takei. God, I miss sharing a van with him doing Celebrity Apprentice.
Oh, man.
You want to talk about on point? No. It's nonstop Japanese internment talk. Like, it never ends. It just... I don't know. I guess my family's from Sicily. I'd be like, did you hear about the whole ethnic cleansing of the Sicilian people in 1871? Like, if I just never stop. This never. Yeah. I get it. You're Japanese. I get it. This was a bad thing. Now, please knock it off. Please turn the page.
Let's talk about anybody's ass.
1941. Here we go. And then you go, George, I'm really sorry about the whole Japanese internment. Japanese American. American. They were Japanese American who were interned. Like, okay. So I do miss that.
Yeah. I was an intern at the Milwaukee Journal. Anything to try to get him off track.
Yeah.
That's right. It will not work.
Chris, you have some information?
Well, yeah. So in the article, Shatner gets to keep the ranch in Three Rivers, California, which is near Sequoia National Park. Although they have agreed that Elizabeth gets the right to, quote, occasionally harvest some fruit from the trees on the ranch, and it's also clearly special property to both of them because she can go there to visit the ashes of her first husband and some horse graves.
But why? Why didn't she just take the ashes on with her?
Worst road trip ever. I've finally done the math. They scattered the fucking ashes at the thing.
It's not in an urn.
I thought it was in a Tupperware container. I was like, put that under your arm when you're leaving.
Right,
There's two lawyers just trying to get out of a room. They want it occasionally. Yeah, that's specific enough.
Yeah, that's good.
That's not going to get us in
Once
any
in a
trouble.
while.
Here and there.
Thank you for clearing that up. That made zero sense.
From time to time.
Why did you just take the box with her to wherever she's going next?
Well, I didn't. It wasn't in the article, but I'm doing the math. It had to be scattered.
Yeah.
And then there's the horse graves.
graves.
You can't hook one of those. You can't throw one of those in the trunk of the Aston Martin.
At least not as easy as horse semen.
Right. And then there's the harvesting of the fruit trees.
That's right.
Which is another euphemism.
Right.
So this is probably incredibly, admittedly naive of me because I'm not there yet.
Jack off that pear tree.
And hope, God willing, we'll all get there. But like Larry King, William Shatner, what is the point of getting divorced that late in life?
I always assume it's the younger woman's idea. I mean, I think, without trying to be too nefarious, I think the beginning part is I've known who this person was since I was born as the young girl. You know what I mean? Like you watched this person. It was like, remember when Brian Austin Green was married to Megan Hot
Fox.
Stuff over there? It's like, And you're like, well, she's young and hot, and she's an A-lister at the time, whatever, and he's on. But she was watching 90210 when she was 9.
David Green.
And totally in love with this guy. So now she gets to 26. It's like, I get to marry the guy whose poster I had up my bed, and everyone else is going, well, why don't you date Bradley Cooper instead? It's like, because this guy had the poster up.
I didn't know who he was when I was 12.
I think there's an element of that. So I think there's an element of, I've known these names my whole life. And for the younger woman, then you get married and you go, well, how long could this guy hang on? And they never die.
They just keep ticking.
They just never die. And then at some point, you get to year 16 of the marriage, and the bloom is kind of off. Now you're just married to an old guy. You're not married to that guy anymore. You're married to this guy.
8-year-olds,
And then at that point, you go, well, this guy's never going to die, and he's no longer Larry King anymore. He's just my husband.
Yeah.
Now, I still got a few good years left, man.
Looking for an exit.
Try
That's the way I felt when I was married to Angela Lansbury.
Well,
I
that was
got to
like
get out of this. I got years left.
that recent Al Pacino story when she just came out and said, like, he's too old. He's elderly.
Right.
He doesn't buy me anything. Please don't get that job.
Hold on.
I'm engaged to a younger man.
She
buys me plenty.
She was very persistent to be with Brian when she was 18. What does that mean?
Yeah, they met on set. He was 30. She was 18. Brian didn't want to have anything to do with it because of the age difference.
Oh,
She-
twist his arm.
sure, yeah.
That's what he's saying, but she wouldn't let up.
Yeah.
She had
you
to
know
have
those
it.
shrews.
She had to have
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I like Brian, and I think I like Megan. But either way, there's some dynamic happening, and that's probably part of it.
Plus, the
That's
old
logical.
guy's like, hey, this is better than a will. You want the horses? Take them. Get them out
Right.
of here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
What do
I
I got
don't-
6 months left. Who knows?
Like the day you buy a boat, the day you sell a boat, 2 best days of your life.
That's right.
Same thing with horses.
I wonder how old she was or is. He's 88, but he doesn't age, man. I mean,
No,
I've been
he
to a
does
few of
not.
his events. He's coming here and all that kind of stuff. He's awesome. All right, let's bring it
he
home,
is
Gina
great.
Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
That was the news with